All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Come on in. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. This is episode 998 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast, coming hot off the heels of Simply CyberCon. Some of you still celebrating Simply CyberCon this morning. Yeah, you go on. Good times for everybody, both in person and virtual. Hopefully at some point all the virtual people can come in person. It'd be wonderful to meet all of you and high five appropriately. If you are looking to stay current on the top cyber threat news of the day while engaging with like-minded professionals who are absolutely awesome, well, you've come to the right place, my friend. Whether it's your first time or your 998th time, every single weekday morning we're getting after it, taking care of the business while doing it in a fun and engaging way. We are off and running. That's right, everybody. Good morning. Hey, listen, we're going to go through the top cyber news stories of the day. And Marcus Kyler pointed out in his talk at Simply CyberCon, I don't research or prep for any of these stories.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So I'm going to be giving you my hot, honest take on each of these stories. And really one of the value propositions that I really enjoy doing, and I find it is one of my callings, is to go beyond the headlines and take advantage of my experience and other people's in chat's experiences and go beneath that headline and give you insights that you would really only learn by either having someone tell you or sitting in the chair yourself. And I'd rather you get the knowledge up front and then choose your own adventure from there. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to go through. That's the value prop. Now, as always, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So all you got to do is say, what's up in chat, grab a screenshot. Chat's just rolling right above my head. My man, Tech Grunt, up in chat. Love meeting him at Simply CyberCon. Just say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, file it away once a year. Count up those screenshots, divide by 2. That's how many CPEs you have. It's very simple. Back of the napkin math. Kayla Sturgeon did the math. You can max out at 120 CPEs, which, believe me, is a lot of CPEs. I see just so many great friends that we spent time with yesterday. Kimberly Can Fix It, Mara Levy, Cyber Riskwitch, who I got to meet for the first time and came to the after party. Good times, guys. We got a great show for you. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I share a little bit about myself. It will be conference related because it is super, relevant and right now, obviously. But we'll have some fun with that. I've got like a little bit of a complete psychopath. I got up this morning and made a to-do list of like 17 things, one of which several of them relate to you, but one of them is a fun one that relates to you. So I'll share that with you during Tidbits Tuesday. Now, if today's your first episode and you're like, what are all these people talking about? What is the energy in here? What's Simply CyberCon? That means you're a first timer. And guess what? Every single one of us, including myself on day one, was a first timer. So drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Let us know you're a first timer because we want you to know what this community stands for and how we roll. And not only do we roll deep, but we roll inclusively, supportively, and empowering, which doesn't quite roll off the tongue as rolling deep, but that's okay. It's all about good times. Now, before we get into it, I do have a couple, things to share with you. Number one, the jaw-jacking will be Daniel Lowry because I have to go teach after stream today at the Citadel. I've got my traditional cup of coffee, but don't sleep on it because I'm double booking it today. It's one of those kind of situations here at the Buffer Auger Flow studio. Needed to double call the coffee gods. I'm like low-key dead right now. So we'll do what we can for all of you. Before I get into it, allow me, please. Hey, MTJ755 second timer since.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
All right. Second timer, we're going to allow it.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Also want to say what's up for FedEx with the super chat. Second day at the new gig. Love it. We missed you too, FedEx. Glad that you are crushing it out there. James McQuiggan. Really great to see so many of you that are had traveled back safely. Some of you had to sprint at the airport. Again, guys, I said it at the conference and I'll say it now, and I mean it really from the deepest part of my heart, because because I travel for work and I travel for cons and I travel for speaking, and I know it is a lot. It is a sacrifice to travel to go to a conference. So for you to make those choices to come to Simply CyberCon, it just means the world to Nadine and I and the boys. So thank you. All right, let's pay the bills, everybody. Every single episode, we've got sponsors to help us fund this crazy show that we do. And I want to say shout out and love to Anti-Siphon Training. Anti-Siphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. You can go to antisyphontraining.com right now and look up their upcoming schedule of events. Look at this. They've got training, a free webinar tomorrow at noon. They've got a 4, 5, 6 hour workshop on AD with Dale Hobbs. I'll tell you right now, this is an example of anti-siphon training, okay? Pay what you can, essentially. You could pay up from between $25 and $150. Intro to Active Directory. Now, that's not necessarily cybersecurity related, but believe me, if you understand how AD works and like fundamentally how you use it and users and computers and GPOs and these things, you will be a much better cybersecurity professional because you'll understand, really common IT infrastructure, okay? Being a cybersecurity person isn't just about downloading Kali and firing Metasploit up. There's a lot to it, especially if you want to get paid in a corporate gig. So this is a great opportunity, Anti-Siphon Training. Go to the links in the description below to get that. Also want to say delete me. As always, delete me. We've got a new talking points here for November. I haven't read it yet, so we're about to figure it out together. Oh my. Jesus. I feel like I smoked a pack of cigarettes last night. I didn't. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites, and Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. I told them, delete it all. Wipe me from the internet. I challenge you, Delete Me. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. All joking aside, I have young kids. I have a family. I'm a very public person, or like persona, or whatever you want to call this. And don't say influencer, please. You guys know I hate that. So I don't want random people showing up at my house being like, I don't like your hot take on, Palo Alto. So, I want to choose who has my address. Okay. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for all our listeners. Oh, 1 second. Stream Deck's not working today, so I got to manually do the sound. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Code simplycyber. All right. Quick note from ThreatLocker, who was a sponsor of Simply CyberCon and representing. The guy, Greg, who was working Simply CyberCon ThreatLocker booth, was into the mixtape, the Simply Cyber 2025 mixtape. I think it's simplycyber.io/mixtape. Yeah, this guy right here. Oh, yeah. Hip hop for life, baby. Next year, Simply CyberCon, we're going to get a music system. That way, Joe Hudson and Tyler Ramsby can square off. We were all deprived of that opportunity. All right, quick word from ThreatLocker. Get your coffee refilled. We're off, and then we're getting into the news. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, y'all. You see you see these suckers sliding in right here? It's time to get to work. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us. In an awesome wave, I will see you all at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. Sleepy Duck uses Ethereum to keep command server alive. Threat intelligence firm Secure Annex found a malicious Visual Studio extension called Sleepy Duck that can install a remote access Trojan. The extension looks legitimate at first, but later turns malicious after roughly 14,000 downloads. Once a user opens a Solidity file, the extension collects system details and connects to a command and control server every 30 seconds. Secure Annex says the attackers used an Ethereum contract to dynamically update their C2 address to evade blocking, also tracing the group behind Sleepy Duck to other rogue VS Code extensions that mine Monero through PowerShell scripts. Sesame Op abuses OpenAI.
All right, so this is actually pretty wild, and there's a lot of meat on the bone here. Okay, so first of all, and remember, we're assuming all levels of experience here. So just to kind of define a couple things. One, C2 infrastructure, C2 command and control. This is how a threat actor will control infected machines once, post exploitation, essentially. And they're using this Visual Studio extension to basically infect the endpoint. And then the C2 can be done anyway. Okay, so remember really quickly, this is what I want to tell you. C2 is how the threat actor communicates with the infected endpoint, right? Or infected endpoints, right? You could have a whole fleet of infected endpoints, right? So you need like a centralized management kind of console or admin panel, you'll hear it called. So anything can be C2, anything that can communicate out to the internet. So a Telegram channel can be C2, a Teams chat channel, DNS, web, mega download, Reddit posts, Twitter, like anything that you can send and communicate out where it can look and get commands and new actions can be C2. Okay. Now this is interesting. I haven't seen this before, although I don't think this is innovative. I think it's been done before. I just haven't seen it myself. They are using Ethereum, or the blockchain that the Ethereum sits on, to command and control, which is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, unless it's being done a different way, cryptocurrency has a blockchain, right? So those things. Oh, hey, Josh Mason, squad member, 35 months, blue badge, looking good. Anything done will be memorialized on the blockchain, so it could be forensic. It's forensically sound. So personally, I don't think I would choose to do that. But it looks like it's in the threat actor's best interest. So what it basically does is it infects the machine and steals their money. Now, of course, because it is using Ethereum for C2, they're likely targeting people who are wanting to do crypto, right? So you're not going to get, like, my Aunt Dorothea is not installing this, all right? A couple other interesting things to me on this one, less about how it works, more about the fact that it has some very advanced or more sophisticated techniques that you don't see. So for you people who are studying your Security Plus, all right, there's a piece of malware, or there's a term that you'll hear called logic bomb. Logic bomb is cool, okay? Logic bombs are cool. Now, usually logic bombs are time-based, right? So, like, if I don't log into my work computer for 30 straight days, it probably means I've been fired. And if I don't log in for 30 days, a piece of malware I wrote constantly checking, and after 30 days of inactivity, it deletes the servers, right? So it's my poison pill that I stick at work because I'm a lunatic, right? This is what a logic bomb typically is. This one, basically, if you were one of the first 14,000 people to download it, you're fine. The malware is in there, but it won't activate. Only after the 14,000 download does it start acting malicious, which is wild. And I believe that they did this one so it would get good reputation, people would be talking about it, etc. And finally, this infection vector is through AI. So they said in here, it's being installed through Cursor. Well, you can install it directly, but Cursor's also doing it. Cursor is one of these speak to code things, vibe code, if you will. So the AI is pushing malware for the threat actors, which is, a whole attack vector in this AI world that we're going to have to reconcile with. All right. So this is a lot of good information. I mean, if you're an active practitioner, you should really review this and get smart on it as far as like, there's some classics in here like C2 and Trojans and stuff, but the infecting it via Cursor AI and having a Ethereum as the C2 is interesting. Of course, educate any like developers in your environment. Or see, the crappy thing is 2020, Jerry would say, make sure you tell your developers and your engineers because they're likely the ones who are going to be coding up something in Visual Studio. But with vibe coding, my Aunt Dorothea could do this, right? You got some enterprising 22-year-old who just graduated college, got a job, and they're like, oh, I'm going to make my mark. I'm going to stick my thumbprints all over this company. I'm going to be the best new employee ever. Let me just vibe code up something. And you're just like bringing malware into the environment, and you're going, you end up not being it. You end up being, I don't know, who's a famous person that's name is like driven through mud? Aaron Burr, right? Was Aaron Burr the traitor, right? I think so. Anyways, TLDR, there are indicators of compromise here. So if you see any, you could look for these domain names in your logs and see. The problem is if someone vibe coded this at home or someone vibe coded this on the train or at the airport where they're not going through your main infrastructure, those logs may not be captured and delivered. So zero trust, guys. This is why we need zero trust. I trust you guys, but everybody else, no.
AI Assistance API. Microsoft's detection and response team discovered a new backdoor called Sesame Op that uses the OpenAI Assistance API as a covert command and control channel.
C2 for
the
everyone.
malware appears to be active since July, letting attackers remotely manage infected systems by relaying encrypted commands through OpenAI's infrastructure instead of traditional malicious servers. Microsoft says that Sesame Op doesn't exploit a platform flaw, but misuses legitimate API functions for long-term espionage. OpenAI and Microsoft have since disabled the attacker's account and API key.
Okay, so Microsoft and OpenAI have treated the symptoms, not the root cause. Good. Because we know threat actors aren't likely to, create a new account and get issued a new API key. We've done thwarted that one. All right, here we go. Let me just read this because there's a lot going on. Microsoft security researchers new backdoor malware that uses a. So a couple things. One, this is C2 again. Like I'm glad. Again, I don't research or prep for these shows, so I don't know that it's going to be a double shot of C2. But yeah, C2. It's the same C2. Get familiar with C2, command and control, because it's a term that you should be familiar with. And as I mentioned, you literally can use anything for C2 if it can communicate between an infected host and your, maliciously controlled infrastructure, right? I want a flaming donkey use case here. You could use
we like to use carrier pigeons for our C2.
anything. You could use carrier pigeons legit, right? I mean, you'd have to have a human in the loop on that one, but you could do it. All right. All right, so what I want to know is how do you get initially infected, right? Because that's important. Yeah. So the threat actor could remotely manage the devices for months. Yes, because they were infected post-exploitation and you have C2 infrastructure set up. Yes, That's how it works. All right. So whatever this OpenAI Assistant API is, this would be an interesting research project to see. I mean, you don't have to infect someone and do it. You could just analyze what OpenAI's Assistant API looks like and see how you could relay controlled data through it. All right, here we go. Heavily obfuscated loader and .NET based backdoor deployed through domain manager injection. All right, so Visual Studio utilities getting infected. I guess this looks like it's kind of a technical exploitation, almost like either a side-loaded attack or it says injection. So I don't know if that's like a process hollowing or like, I don't know what's being injected here, but the Visual Studio solution is being weaponized. So like if you don't run Visual Studio on your box, like you're not getting popped by this. It is interesting because this Sleepy Duck was also a Visual Studio extension. So for me, using Elliot Matisse's, I've been saying his name wrong forever. I'm sorry, Elliot. Elliot Matisse's talk yesterday too. Like, look, I'm seeing a trend, right? There's an uptick, at least in visibility, of Microsoft Visual Studio based initial infections, right? So might want to send a note out to my workforce or my IT. Hey, just so you all know, Microsoft Visual Studio threat actors, there's an uptick in threat actors weaponizing, basically the fact you have that software installed, infecting it, and then getting after it after that. So I would imagine that the threat actor is going to stand up another account and continue doing the things it does. All right. Also, by the way, just because OpenAI disabled that threat actor's account and removed their API key, the endpoints that are compromised are still compromised. All right. OpenAI stopping the ability for the threat actor to communicate with the exploited devices doesn't change the fact that, the devices are exploited, right? Like it would be the equivalent. What's an analogy I can use here? It'd be like, an arsonist lights your house on fire and is like dancing around your house, and the police come and arrest him and throw him in jail. Your house is still on fire. The police took the bad guy to jail. They didn't put the fire out, right? You have to call the fire department, which would be like a different group to come. Otherwise, your house is still on fire. And by the way, the story doesn't get into this because they obviously don't have any visibility into who the infected people are. But my little brain starts tickling and says, hey, if I was a threat actor that was sophisticated enough to weaponize OpenAI's Assistant API for C2, I'm probably smart enough to have a fallback or a contingency C2 mechanism if, using a logic bomb, if OpenAI Assistant API doesn't communicate within 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, fall back to a Telegram channel communication. So again, you're still infected. That threat actor may have the capability to re-engage with your infected host. So don't think you're out of the water there. I mean, out of the fire.
Organized crime cyber crooks steal cargo. Researchers from Proofpoint say that cyber criminals are teaming up with organized crime groups to hijack cargo shipments through hacked logistics systems. Attackers gain access to U.S. freight broker load boards, post fake jobs, and infect logistics firms with remote monitoring tools like Screen Connect or Enable, then intercept delivery info and redirect goods to their own addresses. These range from electronics to energy drinks. CargoNet says that theft losses hit $112 million in Q3 of 2025, with hotspots in California, Illinois, Florida, Texas, and Washington. Ukrainian charged in jabbers.
Yeah, you have to give me a break because my Stream Deck can't start and stop the podcast right now. I think I have to reboot my computer, but okay, so check this out. I'm actually going to go much wider than this one, okay? So yes, this is a story about them stealing pricey cargo, okay? Let me rap at you for a second, okay? This is really cool, and this is I know many of you don't need a compelling argument on coming to Simply CyberCon or SCCon. I'm kind of like workshopping maybe changing the name of it to SCCon just so it slides a little easier off the tongue. All right, so check this out. When we talk about cybercrime, right, we're like, oh, ransomware, right? Where did the malware go? I don't know. It ransomware. Oh my God, this guy. Right? What's a threat actor's fall wardrobe look like? Oh, it's mostly ransomware. Oh, it's so hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
All right. I think the coffee's kicking in, y'all, because I'm feeling a little silly. All right, so check it out. Ransomware, business email compromise, phishing emails, initial infection, post-exploitation, C2, all these things we say all the time. And it's like the lion's share of what we deal with day in and day out. Malicious USB, info stealer, crypto jacker, these type of things. At Simply CyberCon, I had the opportunity and privilege to talk with a man named Ben Wilkins. Now, Ben is he was one of the speakers, okay? And we hung out the night before at like a mixer. What am I? This is like 1950s, like it's a mixer. Okay, so we went to like the bar and drank. And I was like, dude, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a cyber architect for like transportation. I'm like, oh, I know DJ BSEC. Like, I understand what you do. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, so what do you do? And he's like, dude, think about this for a second. Organized crime, there's big money in stealing cargo, like 30 to 80 billion dollars a year. I mean, $1 million, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, think about it, if you will. Pistachios, right? Now, who in chat right now is thinking like, gotta secure the pistachios for the children, right? But he's like, no, imagine pistachios. They're very valuable, right? Or almonds, very valuable. You can't stick a barcode on pistachios. You can't put a SKU on them. You just load up a milk crate and you put it on a truck, and the truck drives to the shipping yard, and then it gets put on a boat and it goes to wherever it goes. Okay. But in the boat, those pistachios are like $1 million worth of pistachios. Oh, wait a minute. Now you have my attention. Well, because it is a valuable asset and it cannot be tracked very easily, organized crime is like, yeah, boy, let's get on that. So imagine, if you will, you use technology to make the truck disappear, make the truck appear at somewhere else, be able to hack in and tell the shipping company that you are the correct truck, right? Hey, I'm showing up half an hour early because of reasons, but here's all go check your computer system. Here's all the paperwork. I'm legit, Tom Pine from Tom Pine Trucking. Come on, throw those pistachios on the truck, baby. And then I drive away like a madman, like the Joker. And then 30 minutes later, legit pistachio shipping company shows up and they're like, where's my pistachios, brah? And the guy's like, you were here 30 minutes ago. And then it's just like, face melting, okay? I'm good. So this is like a real thing. He's actually going to come on my Simply Cyber Firesides, and we're going to go hard into the paint on organized crime. I think this is going to rip the lid off a whole new area of crime and cyber related crime that this community hasn't been talking about. All right. So I'm super pumped about it. I'm getting a little sweaty. I guarantee you this coffee's working because I'm feeling it. I probably shouldn't have put an extra 2 scoops of grounds in the coffee machine, but this is what we do in order to rebound from Simply CyberCon. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right.
Zeus cybercrime case. Ukrainian national Yuri Igorovich Rybtsov has been extradited from Italy to the U.S. to face charges tied to the Jabber Zeus cybercrime group. Allegedly, the group's developer, Rybtsov, is said to have helped manage notifications of compromised organizations and launder stolen funds. Jabber Zeus used the Zeus banking Trojan and social engineering to steal millions from small and mid-sized U.S. businesses, funneling money through mules and overseas accounts. The group's purported leader, Vyacheslav Penchikov, was sentenced to 18 years in the U.S. last year.
He moved the money through mules, or was it
Donkeys.
All right, I am like really out of my mind right now. Okay, so first of all, I mean, obviously, Nate Dogg, Warren G. By the way, Joey made custom shirts for me and Mrs. Auger with Warren G and Nate Dogg on it. Regulators.
Mount up.
Yeah. All right. So, Justice, a dish best served cold. Getting this Ukrainian guy locked up. He's going to be extradited to the United States for stealing information, so making fraudulent transfers and basically robbing small and mid-sized businesses. Guys, I got to tell you, Simply Cyber, it's not $1 million business. Okay? Spoiler alert. It's not $1 million business. But if someone stole a lot of the money that Simply Cyber has, uses to run operations, it would be devastating. And this guy was targeting small and mid-sized businesses. So we're talking potential families, just as an example, right? The money that Simply Cyber generates is how we fund our families' initiatives and necessities and stuff like that. So it's like, yikes, could be really damaging. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so this is just an organized crime thing, right? This one guy, John Doe number 3, Mr. ICQ, he would get the notifications of compromised hosts and then also help launder money for the threat actor organization. Guys, in 2025, people are special. Like threat actors are specialized, okay? It's like I get initial infections and give them off to somebody. I launder money and give them off to somebody. I have a stable of money mules that can get the money out. I'm, post-exploitation guy, right? The group is called Jabberzeus. Maxim Yakubets later formed Evil Corp. Evil Corp is pretty legit as far as a threat actor goes. They were known for the Drydex Trojan attacks, but Evil Corp was pretty legit. It was about the same time that Mr. Robot came out. I think that's where they got the name from, but anyways, guys, I mean, at the end of the day, to me, all this story is saying is, a threat actor who commits crime is being held accountable and justice is going to be served. Now, this guy, the problem is this is like, I don't know, like this is like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, right? Like we got one. There's a bunch of them. There's so many of them, bro. You know what I mean? I guess maybe this will help make an example. Maybe this will help disrupt the criminal underground in Eastern Europe, but I don't know.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Cyber criminals do not knock. They sneak in through the cracks other tools miss. That's why organizations are turning to ThreatLocker. As a zero-trust endpoint protection platform, ThreatLocker puts you back in control, blocking what doesn't belong and stopping attacks before they spread. Zero trust security starts here with ThreatLocker.
All right. Let's do this and I don't know. Let's blow out the copyright, shall we? Feels right. All right, everyone, party! Woo! All right, guys, holla, holla, holla. I hope you're having a great day. I certainly am. Off and running on a beautiful Tuesday morning here in the Low Country. I want to say thank you to all of you. First to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Delete Me, Anti-Siphon Training, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, if you didn't know, Barricade Cyber Solutions is hosting this Fortify 365 webinar series November 5th, tomorrow. You have an opportunity to connect with Eric Taylor at 1 p.m. Eastern to get trained up on Microsoft Cloud App Security. What's up, Daniel Lowry? Get those monsters cooking. Eric Taylor is doing a multi-part series, 4-5 365. You can sign up for this. Go to webinars.barricadecyber.com. Sign up, and in 1 hour, you're going to get all this value. You're going to explore the Cloud App Security dashboard through a live demo. You'll learn how to enable Defender for cloud apps. You can get file monitoring, app governance sorted out. You can create alert-driven policies using built-in templates. Guys, these are like resume bullets you can put on your resume if you do the webinar and follow along. So don't sleep on this opportunity. Webinars.barricadecyber.com. Thank you, Barricade Cyber. All right. So, yeah, every single day of the week. Well, hey, really quick, thank you. This is the thank you slide. I want to say thank you. I said it yesterday a lot, but there's never enough thank you. And, appreciation. Thank you, Joe Hudson, James McQuiggan, emceeing. Thank you, Jesse, Justin, and Joseph. AV text yesterday. Thank you, Kimberly. Can fix it. Thank you, Nadine, Auger, for, Nerman, just like key people who were very much helping organize. And I do want to say shout out to Rhonda Rummerfield as well, helping connect on the speakers. And getting some logistics sorted out. Roswell UK. I don't know if Roswell UK was asked to do this or took it on himself, but I saw in the chat yesterday, Roswell UK providing like updates as like, hey, track 2, next talk is this person, like really help serve the virtual audience yesterday. So Roswell UK, that did not go unnoticed. I just had my head up my butt and couldn't thank you at the moment. So shout out to Marcus Kyler for telling me what what I do is anyone could do. It was good times. All right, guys. Every single day of the week has a special segment. Tidbits Tuesday, I share a little bit about myself. I'm super pumped, guys. One of the things I want to share with you is the team photo. This was the after party team photo. You can see Mrs. Auger there on the right, me on the right next to her, Nerman behind me, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. You can find yourself. If you're not there, we're sorry that you missed the team photo. But the reason I bring this up, Cheddar Bob, Mike Grayson, Jesse, Tina, someone I just met, Derek Welski, Lou Vega, Johnny, loving it, Elliot Matisse in the back. The Pain is up in here, guys. Brews and Hacks, Code Brew, Mara Levy in the front. Christina Paulika, my son won this animal in a claw machine. Right before that, Kathy Chambers is dead center. Lindsay Cam, the TTF winners. Josh Mason, guys. Luke Canfield's in the house. Tyler Ramsby poking out in the back. Let me tell you, what I wanted to say is I'm creating a Google Drive directory right here. Simply CyberCon 2025. I will share this with you guys on Discord or whatever. I just ask if you're comfortable with it. Drop your photos in here from the event. That way we can have one consolidated, centralized photo dump. Everybody is welcome to access the photo dump, use it for your, social posts, save it off, print it out for your own memories. I always, obviously the team photo is a very special segment for me. So I love getting the team photo. It borderline makes me emotional. I almost broke in emotionally yesterday when I was closing ceremonies. For those that don't know, I am a pretty emotional individual, and what this community means to me is very special. So look for those photos, that photo dump here, right? Hold me accountable, and we'll get these things sorted out. All right, guys. Thank you. And that's the Tidbits Tuesday. The Tidbits Tuesday is I love the team photo, and I want to enable us to have a space to share with everybody. And don't be a peckerhead and edit, modify the delete the photos or something like that. We don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Speaking of ain't nobody got time, we got a half a show to do. Let's go. Oh, I forgot. We got the laws. Huh. Alpha Sierra, lead us off. Marcus Kyler, let's go. You know the words, everyone. And if you're new here and you don't know the words, or you're like a young, it's la. Let's go. By the way, just absolutely love my wife.
U.S. cyber experts indicted for Black Cat ransomware attacks. 3 former cybersecurity professionals have been indicted for allegedly carrying out Black Cat ransomware attacks against 5 U.S. companies back in 2023. The DOJ says that Kevin Martin, a former Digital Mint ransomware negotiator, Ryan Goldberg, a former Signia incident response manager, and an unnamed co-conspirator posed as Black Cat affiliates to hack networks, encrypt data, and demand ransoms of up to $10 million. Victims included firms in healthcare, engineering, and pharmaceuticals. GDI flaws could enable Windows.
All right. I always joke around that if I didn't have a moral compass or my moral compass broke, I would get right into ransomware, right? Oh, because it's friggin' lucrative, right? Straight cash, homie. But my compass isn't going to break. I do sleep well at night. I know that I will always be able to provide for my wife and kids because I don't make stupid choices. I don't let greed get the best of me, right? These guys, one was a ransomware negotiator. This is the equivalent of like a cop turning into Denzel Washington from Training Day, where you just like succumb to it. And dude, I think it's a slippery slope. So these guys were, these guys could have been Simply Cyber community members. They could have been at Simply CyberCon high-fiving, right? And instead, they chose a path of, a much more dangerous path. And they were affiliates for Black Cat Alfie ransomware, which was a very effective ransomware threat actor group up until Change Healthcare. Like basically, they retired after Change Healthcare. I think the heat was on, but they didn't get arrested or anything, so they're not going anywhere. But I just want to point out these 3 goobers, 50 years in prison.
Regulators, mount up.
For those listening on audio, I know a lot of you are at the gym right now, working out, getting your reps in. Dan is getting his reps in. Derek Welski getting his reps in. I'll just describe to you the graphic that's not on screen, but I would put it on screen. Very much, this is a linear line of F around and find out. And these guys went full Gartner top right quadrant for the F around and find out. Bro, up to 50 years in prison. The guys, I think the youngest one's 33, 28 years old and 33. So Kevin Tyler Martin of Roanoke, Texas, potentially available for parole in age 61. Just 4 years before retirement. You know what I mean? So, this is real stuff, dude. And it just sucks. We're already having a tough time fighting the war against threat actors. We don't need people on the defender side to do this. Also, just as a quick editorial, I hate to do this because it's easy for me to cast a stone, but like, bro, the 3 of these guys are cybersecurity professionals, and they weren't able to like, their OPSEC with like, I don't know how they got caught, right? Like they know how to find and locate bad guys, right? So if you're going to become a bad guy, wouldn't you know all the tricks and all the ways to stay anonymous? Unless what's his name? Oh my God, what's his name? Bro. Yeah, unless this guy, whatever, what's his name? Tom Pine, whatever. Tom Pine, the guy got arrested. He like showed up to work in like a Bugatti. He makes like $75,000 a year. And on Tuesday, he shows up in a Bugatti. Or like gets dropped off in his private jet. You're like, what? All right. I don't know. I saw Goodfellas. I know what you're supposed to do with the money.
Remote code execution. Checkpoint Research revealed 3 newly patched Windows GDI flaws that could allow remote code execution and information disclosure via fuzzing of EMF and EFM Plus files. They involve out-of-bounds memory access affecting text rendering, thumbnail generation, and print job initialization. Exploits could let attackers read or write memory without user interaction. Microsoft fixed the issues over the summer with validation checks, boundary trimming, and pointer corrections. The flaws also impacted Microsoft Office for Mac and Android.
All right.
As cool.
Really quick, Alpha Sierra squad membership. Alpha Sierra had to go out and dispatch justice on a Fox. Alpha Sierra, I called you out because we played Simple Minds and La 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 was coming up. And for those who are new here and don't know, Alpha Sierra is one of our drum majors. Marcus Kyler is also one of our drum majors, effectively helping shepherd the Simple Minds mid-roll song. So I always like to give her a good call out. But, you know, swift justice for the Fox, getting that, protecting the hen. So, okay, so GDI flaws, remote code execution. So here's the deal. Number one, I think they already fixed it, but you got to patch it, right? You got to patch it. And, but let me tell you that, let me go beneath the headlines, because this is just like, there's a flaw. It can lead to remote code execution, which you don't want. And it can be weaponized. Let me see. I'm sure you get like an email with a image file in it or something like that. Here, crafted EMF files can manipulate color and alpha values and help in heap allocation behavior. The patches are out. Okay, so here's the deal. You got to patch it, right? Like period, full stop. What I want to spend a hot second on here is talking about this particular attack technique as a category of attack. Okay, so when you're attacking, or when threat actors are attacking, or when you're protecting your organization from goobers that are attacking your people, there's a couple different ways, right? There's only three ways, really. You can attack a person, not like no, like send them a phishing email, social engineering, call help desk, right? You can attack process, right? Which is like calling help desk and asking for a password reset for someone that's not you, or understanding how accounts payable works and sending an invoice.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Oh, we got a first timer. Thank you, Space Tacos, for the super chat. And everybody, please help us welcome Ahmed Salam 323. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Thanks, Space Tacos. So you can attack process, and then you can attack technology. Now, technology attack is like the long coveted one, the hacker, like, oh, I can make a calculator pop, I can jackpot an ATM, whatever. Okay, that's what this falls under. And what I want to point out is this particular attack technique weaponizes the fact that the native Windows operating system graphics engine that like helps process graphics files to allow apps to see things, right, has a flaw in it. And you got to remember that image files are not, these aren't your dad's image files. A lot of them have kind of metadata that can be baked into them, and like XML schema kind of, right? And because of this additional file structure, remember, files is just bits and bytes of data. And if the protocol for that file format allows for additional data to be put into it, threat actors can put data in there that the engine, like in this case, the GDI engine or interface, is going to process. So it's like basically, well, here's the thing. So it's going to process it. And if you can discover a vulnerability in the processing engine, when you put your file in and it goes through and it gets processed, you can cause it to, do a buffer overflow, heap overflow, cause it to execute commands that you want, which is how it results in remote code execution. It's remote code execution because I'm sending you a file remotely to your computer, and then it looks benign. Like, hey, check out this team photo from Simply CyberCon, right? Like, imagine this, right? Look at the picture from Simply CyberCon, and when you open it up, the engine that processes it gets compromised, right? And now I'm in your box, and as soon as I take it over, the first thing I'm going to have it do is run like a little PowerShell cradle and pull down additional payloads from some C2 controlled infrastructure that I own. All right, so that's what's happening here. Yeah, so I guess I just want to point out that, where are we? I just want to point out, because it's not like you did anything wrong. It's just sometimes, the way that a file is going to get processed can cause this type of execution. So interesting study, technical exploitation, which is why you need to patch it, because you have to fix the software so it doesn't run whatever gets processed. And finally, just to use an analogy, you guys know I like analogies to help convey information. It's essentially, imagine if you will, like an assembly line machine, like, you know, these like Keebler Elf or bakery things where it's like the big rollers, right? Or Krispy Kreme, you've ever seen like how donuts are made, and it like rolls down the rollers and then it gets dipped in the oil for like 30 seconds, and then it comes back up and they're cooked, and then it goes out and it goes through a cooling station, and then it goes to a glazing station, and then it goes to like a boxing station, right? There's like these phases. Well, imagine if you knew that at the cooling station, inside the cooler, there's like a little button that allows you to like, you know, do whatever you want, right? So if you're able to stick like a spear inside one of the donuts, and it, you know, it'll go through the heating station and not, or the oil and not be a problem. The spear's made of metal, so it won't get destroyed in the oil. And then it goes into the cooling station, and as soon as the thing goes down on the cooling station, the spear hits that button, and now you've executed whatever you want. That's basically what it is. It's like sending it, knowing that downstream it's going to get exploited. All right, where are we at?
Confirms data leak after cyber attack. Japanese retailer Ascool confirmed a data breach after an October ransomware attack claimed by Russia-linked group Ransom House. The attack disrupted logistics for major clients, including Muji and The Loft. Ransom House is known for threatening to publicly release stolen data rather than encrypting it, now claiming to have exfiltrated 1.1 terabytes. More Android apps misuse.
Sorry, hold on one second. Jesse Johnson's at airport bar right now, and I'm helping him. All right, there we go. So this retailer, never heard of him before. Ascool, very very interesting name. Data leak, but you know, obviously it's a retailer, so that means it's my data and your data. All right, so ransomware attack threat. This is like, I don't want to call this a nothing story, but it's like I'm desensitized to this at this point. The threat actor basically took their data, exfilled it, right? So made a copy of it, and then locked up their infrastructure. Okay, I assume locked up their infrastructure. Yeah, it says disrupted operations. So that's basically the keywords, right? Data leak means exfilled. Disruption to operations means likely encrypted infrastructure. All right. Contact information, inquiry details from people, not really a big deal. I mean, honestly, if Ascool uses Salesforce, all that data was compromised like a month ago anyways. Let's see. Ransom House, not to be confused with Ransom Hub, has claimed this. I don't know Ransom House. Dude, the threat actors change their name so frequently that it's like this group emerged in 2022. Okay, and they call themselves a force for good. Okay. Ransomware threat actors like to also claim that their victims are clients. So, you know, I don't know about a force for good. They're exposing vulnerabilities in companies and then releasing everyone's data. It does say that they don't encrypt data. So I don't know why Ascool's operations were impacted. All right. Well, they're pretty legit. They are linked to Alfie, Black Cat, Lockpick 3, and Ragnar Locker, which is, you know, those are, I guess, upper echelon ransomware threat actors as far as like seriousness and sophistication and effectiveness. So definitely don't want that on my radar. Okay, so not much here, dude. Retail company gets hit. Retail, honestly, retail isn't an industry vertical that's got an uptick in activity. We saw several high-end retailers in England get hit, right? Mark and Spencer, Co-op, a couple other ones, and now this Japanese retailer. Again, guys, at the end of the day, threat actors don't care. They'll target manufacturing and healthcare because the downtime is seriously impactful, meaning that the CEOs are likely to spend the money to fix the problem. But for the most part, they don't care. They just want money, dude. Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
Signia incident response manager, and an unnamed co-conspirator posed as Black Hat affiliates to hack networks, encrypt data, and demand ransoms of up to $10 million. Victims included firms in healthcare, engineering, and pharmaceuticals.
Hold on.
GDI flaws could enable trusted services, then exfiltrate card data via Telegram, and let often hard to tell what's actually effective. If we don't know what's working, how do we decide what tools?
All right, whatever. The podcast got screwed up. I'm going to freestyle this last one. Android apps misusing NFC and HCE to steal payment data on the rise. Now, NFC is near field communication. HCE, I don't know what that is. I had to assume it's like some type of communication protocol. All right, so NFC relay fraud. Now, remember, NFC host card emulation is HCE. All right. Malware NFC targets banks, etc. Looks like it's all over the place. Russian banks, European banks, Brazil. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out, because NFC is near field communication. You would have to be near it to get it. Now, the threat actors are using dummy cards. I think so. Hold on one second. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Yeah, tap to pay transactions. I use tap to pay often. I used it last night at the post event party. And let's see. So I guess I don't get it, honestly. So like somehow when you're doing NFC, the permissions for NFC, the threat actor is able to steal your information. I'm not sure. It's like when you're making the payment, it grabs it like in transit and makes a copy of it. I'd invite you to download this or like link to here. I'll drop a link in chat to this story. It doesn't necessarily make a lot of information or sense to me. I will tell you, initial infection is downloading a malicious Android app onto your phone. So if we can get in front of that, you don't have a problem, right? If you don't take off your shoes and run through a field full of fire ant hills, you're guaranteed not to get bit on your feet, right? Don't download the Android malware and you won't even have the problem, right? You can compartmentalize this or, prophylactic it or whatever. I don't know the right term, but basically download Android apps from legitimate sources only. That doesn't guarantee you. Sometimes Google Play Store does get malicious apps in it, but you're more likely to get a malicious app from like some random, cool website that's got cool apps, and then you download it and you get screwed. Okay. No one wants that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, let's cook. All right, y'all. I do want to say shout out to all of you. Thank you very much. This was episode 998. I'm still trying to recover from Simply CyberCon. Episode 1000 is right around the corner. I've got to stitch together a bunch of stuff for that. For those who have sent things, thank you. If you have very high expectations for episode 1000, please temper them. You have to understand there's only one of me, and I've been really, really focused on the conference. Don't go anywhere. Eric Taylor will be coming up for Jawjacking, a 30-minute AMA that can answer all your questions, whether you're a newcomer like Ahmed or a long-timer, whether you're looking to break in the industry or you're looking to, how do I get promoted to senior threat analyst? We got all the questions. He's got all the answers, and the community does too. Remember, I will be sharing the Google Drive for everybody to upload their photos. This was the team photo from Simply CyberCon. Guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. What one hell of a week, and we're only on Tuesday, which is kind of low-key crazy. Be well, and until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What's going on? Let's get some music. Sorry, I'm over here in my own little world doing my own little thing. Give me a second. Let's do a little hip hop because of Halloween stuff that we tried to play the other day. But it's definitely not working very well. Thank you so much. If you're new here, this is kind of what we do. A little bit of an after show. We kind of hang out for about 30 minutes, and I answer your questions. So while we get ready for it, and if you do have a question, put a Q with a colon, and I'm going to pretend to be Dr. Gerald Auger in chat, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Question, if I could type this morning. So I'll come over as that. So you just do that Q and your question here. Good morning, Very Beast. Good morning, Alicia Grimm. Alicia. Been kind of busy this week. If you haven't been, thanks. Let me share my screen. So while you are coming up with your questions that you may have for me, definitely do not want to share system audio. If you're unaware, I have a podcast. Well, Barricade Cyber has a podcast, the Brutally Honest Security Podcast. It's on YouTube. If you go here, again, I'm pretending to be Dr. Gerald Auger in chat because I'm backstage. Just dropped episode 4 yesterday, data breaches, massive fines, and failed response. Learned lessons from Captia. Hats off to Kimberly Can Fix It because I went full tilt, bashing MSPs and MSSPs and their failed responses and things of that nature, and telling corporations they should, test their security people. If you have time later today and you're a fan of SANS, or not, even if you're not a fan of SANS, you want to hear me, I will be actually on the SANS podcast later today, staying ahead of ransomware. My buddy Ryan Chapman is actually out of the country handling some personal things, so I am going to be co-hosting with Mary DeGracia, and we're going to be talking about cloud security. You've probably seen that on LinkedIn, so definitely bookmark that for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in 3 hours from now. So if that's something that you would like to see us talk about, then definitely book that in. Like I said, even more busyness. We got podcasts coming up. Tomorrow is another edition of the Fortify 365 series. Plus on Thursday, we're doing our monthly update. So definitely tune that in. I went kind of full tilt a little bit, telling organizations earlier this week or over the weekend that you really should be taking, this thing, ransomware as a serious issue, ladies and gentlemen. They went full tilt, almost like, they were a car dealership trying to end their quotas. This thing is 18 pages, full text only. I took it from our CTI feed, dumped it into Notepad++, printed it out as a PDF, and except for the breaks and the threat actor names, there's over 1,000 names in this document for the end of October. So, definitely keep in mind on, again, I love everybody use Barricade Cyber for their incident response. There are a lot of firms out there. There are some good ones. Unfortunately, like you heard about Digital Mint, they are definitely in our space. They handle threat actor communications and brokering payments to threat actors, and they definitely put a bad name on the industry of a lot of well-meaning people. So when I did see the FBI thing come out, it was just supposed to be one person, and now it's 3. So I was shocked to hear about that this morning. And this is something you'll be seeing coming up here soon on the podcast. But Dragon Force Cartel, Scattered Spider at the gates. Like I've said many times before, Scattered Spider really, really is a group that likes to be a subcontractor of sorts, right? So this definitely has a lot of good intel in here. But they did ask, just read a message, but they do go through a lot of the IOCs. Scattered Spider does partner with a lot of different ransomware groups, depending on what I personally believe is whoever's paying them the most money at this time. and that's who they deploy their ransomware to. I've been on talking about this for a lot of times. After initial compromise, ScatterSpire deploys RMM tools to tunnel and establish persistence. Their group has been using Screen Connect, AnyDesk, TeamViewer, Splashtop, and similar utilities. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in charge of your network security, new services being installed must be monitored. Must be. That's how you see some of the early indicators of threat actor activity, right? I know we got a couple questions that have come in, and I just got a critical notification. Bear with me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, 1 moment, ladies and gentlemen. Cancel that workflow. Sorry, we got some weird stuff that's been going on with the way that Windows is doing some of its updates lately, is really setting off some triggers in our EDR, and I haven't been able to figure out exactly what is going on with that. So every once in a while, it definitely creates a problem. But anyway, let's see here. That is me. We missed you this weekend. Thanks, James. What's the name of the most secure woman in the world? Emma, MFA. Yeah, sorry I was not there. Other things taking precedent at the moment. Question from Alicia Grimm. What is the most interesting thing you learned doing Cyber Awareness Month in October? Nothing. All right, this is going to be completely unhinged, Alicia, but Cybersecurity Month is regurgitation of everything else that people have been saying for the past 10 years. Nobody's saying anything different except for what I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. It's just people I feel are not having real world conversations with business owners. Like, no, this is the way it needs to be. And this is the way you need to think about things. And we need more people. I am literally the person that is going to talk about the elephant in the room. And I don't care who's offended by it. I really don't. And a lot of people appreciate that brute honesty. So we need more. Oh, I do like how some of the the InfoSec really went after some reports of how ransomware is like being controlled like 80% by AI, which is complete BS. Like, no, it's not. It's the same tactics over and over and over and over again. The question from Marcus Rutherford, 123. This is probably an age-old question, but is there any world, or is there a world where you don't need help desk job to do cybersecurity projects to land a job? To me, no. My personal opinion, no. Help desk is going to teach you how to troubleshoot. It's going to teach you how to deal with clients. And sometimes some of the most weird and most complicated clients who are technologically inept. Again, I'm not talking negatively about them. They just don't understand technology at all. And being part of help desk teaches you how to walk people through to get something done. You know, when you're doing cybersecurity projects, you're implementing, let's just say MFA. Being able to walk the client through those type of scenarios of how to get MFA stood up and working for them, help desk helps them a lot in that aspect. Otherwise, you're just going to be very, very frustrated. Question, I need my org to hire someone full-time. Oh, good luck. To do vulnerability remediation. Oh, really good luck. How do you get your org to make it a priority? The only way that I have been successful in this matter is not talking about the number of CVEs that are impacting. I talk about the risk associated with those. And it's a really hard discussion to have. It's not an easy one because there's not a way to correlate. You know, you got a CVE in certain number here, and it's got a 9.4 criticality on the CVSS, and it's on the CISA-KEV. All right. But what does that really mean for impact on the organization is what really comes in. And that's kind of where the EPSS comes in from. There's a new term called LEV, L-E-V. Give me a second. NIST is coming up with it, and I'm working on actually implementing it into the EPSS score. Likely exploited vulnerabilities. So I couldn't even remember what it was called, but yeah, called LEV. And I'm working, there's some math to it that I'm working on in the tool coming up for an update for the EPSS. And that would hopefully help drive some of those conversations. Like, how likely is this to be exploited in your environment? So it's a good concept. I think it's good. Good discussion. Question: what do you want to hear during Cybersecurity Month? What news do you want to hear? And quite honestly, I would love for clients to come out and be like, look, I didn't take this stuff seriously until it was phrased this way. That way I understood it. Quite honestly. I think that would be gold. Because now you know how to potentially have meaningful conversations with people that the vulnerability is properly impacting, and more can be done. And I've said it for a long time. CISO generates the same reports. Everybody's generating the same reports every effing year. They're same news articles. You want to know how many Barricade put out? Because they're not meaningful. And nobody's paying attention to it. We're talking about the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. That's my job. The real call that approves 0 new position for IT department. That's a different discussion altogether. Quite honestly, and I've had this talk multiple Gerald Jackson sessions. Businesses don't know what's about to happen. Like, we're having real world conversations with business owners right now. Like, they are, and I'm even considering it myself. Like, are we going to travel for the end of the year? You know, me personally, and this is not to be a political discussion by any means, but everybody knows the U.S. government is shut down. And for the life of me, literally for the life of me, there are certain parts of the government that are consistently paid during a government shutdown. I know the FAA, right? Federal Aviation Authority, yeah, FAA, gets back pay from doing work. I don't understand why they are not part of the group that receives ongoing payments or paychecks. And like, why aren't the military? You know, there's a lot of things broken in America right now that just make no sense to me. But that there, and not knowing, you know, what's going on with tariffs, there's just a lot of uncertainty in the business world. There really, really is, unfortunately, including me and at Barricade. So I feel your frustration. You know, there may be a play where they're trying to use more, I wouldn't say AI, but more automation to do things. I know a lot of businesses are looking at that. Do we have a 9:30? I assume we do. I need to open up Discord. I do have Discord open. Let me switch to the right one to see what the mods are yelling at me about. Okay, mods are not yelling at me about anything, which is surprising. Because I'm always getting yelled at about something. And I'm not bashing mods, rightfully so. Like, shut up, Eric. I'm just looking on the other screen. Do we have the ability to go long if there are questions? That was 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago. Upcoming live streams. Mods, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not seeing anything in the lives or upcoming. So I think we can do a little bit longer with jaw jacking if there are. Oh, yes, there is Simply Defensive. Thank you, Kimberly. Let me pull that up because that's coming up in what? At the bottom of the hour, right? You know, I love YouTube, but I really hate YouTube at the same time. There we go. So see, like, when you do a premiere in YouTube, I'm just going to rant for a second. Like, here, I'll show you my screen. Let's bring this up. And this is what I struggle with when it comes to YouTube, right? So, like, live, you know, we have, you know, the talks and everything here, right? I mean, okay, cool, right? And I come here to home. It says for you, and I'm like, okay, cool. It doesn't really show anything coming up, but I think these are other channels as well. No, that's Simply Cyber. Okay. Upcoming live stream, right? I would think the channels are coming up, or the like what's coming up for today, but I have to come here to videos to see what's premiering. And Simply Secured is not the latest one. Like, this one happened yesterday. Oh, this one's actually in 2 days. Where's the one for today? Because I want to give y'all the link. Where's Simply Defensive? See what I mean? There's Simply Offensive. There we are at 9:30. See why? Again, this isn't a Jerry thing or the channel thing. It's just a YouTube thing, I think. Like, why is this all the way down here? Like, if I did latest, and it's not even the latest. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this is the one that's coming up here in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I understand. So Kimberly's rightfully fussing at me, like I said. It's because they're pre-recorded under videos. And again, me personally, in my pea brain, because they are being broadcasted live. I mean, even though they are a pre-recorded show, but it's a scheduled live airing premiere, to me, I would think it would be under the live tab. Again, I don't know. What do I know? That to me makes sense. You know what? Maybe I will blame Jerry. He's got so much content, it's hard for me to find it. There, figure out a way to blame Jerry on this. Shouldn't have so much content, Jerry. I know you're not. You see me smiling, Kim. I'm busting your chops. You know that. At least I hope you do. Vulnerability management spot. How about creating a statement of the likelihood of an attack along with the economic impact, maybe including any fines. Fines are such a loose discussion because, fines, no, I would stay away from the fines. But I think, again, this is what let me bring up my screen again. This is what I'm hoping. NIST came out with this, and I think it's really, really cool. I know everybody, I hearts NIST. NIST Lev. So I will link this, but this is a whole document, and literally this is what I'm going through to expand this. And it kind of goes through, downloading the EPS data, but this is their whole proposal, right? A cumulative distribution of exploitative probabilities. It's a whole math thing. It's not just an arbitrary number. And let me see, can I get into, I think I should be able to open this up. I just got to find, because I leaked the development into mod chat last week. Can I copy message? Can I do that? I'm not sure. Bear with me a second. I'm not sure if I'm able to do that or not. Okay, let me try this. Boom. Let me bring this over because I didn't want to leak everything out. And my screen is not updating. Let me drop my screen down. Did I update I did not put it in the right window. Too many tabs. All right, there we go. There's my problem. Let me hide this. So you'll see, those who are not familiar with it, I got a tool that's called EPSS Lookup or EPS Lookup Tool, whichever. So like when you populate some information here, it'll generate it, but we're looking at adding the Lev to the EPSS tool. It's still very much in development, right? So I'm hoping that will be done in the next couple of weeks. I'm having problems with the application doing the math right now. So it's something that I am working on and hope to have released soon. So hopefully that will bear some fruit for stuff. Because when I seen that come out from this the other day, I'm like, that is actually a pretty cool concept. And I wanted to implement that as soon as possible. But I mean, to go back, because I really want to touch on this, like, I think honestly, the real cacao, going through your CVEs and finding out what the EPSS is and how impactful it is to your organization. Start off with the criticals and highs. Get those done. Like, this is a critical high CVE and it applies to our firewall. We need to patch that. That's in critical, the high criticality. The likelihood that's getting exploited, Lev, is there, right? I mean, we've seen sonic walls recently in the past couple of weeks. We've seen some stuff with WatchGuard, things of that nature, right? So those have a very high Lev likelihood of being exploited. We need to get those patched. But however, if you got a CVE of 9.0 or higher, but it's in your DMZ around a dev environment, I mean, do we really matter if it gets compromised, if it's true dev data, not just what we see a lot of times where developers take in production data and put it into dev and that could be a whole TED talk, right? I understand why developers do it, because you want real world data and data of volume before rolling something into production. I totally get it. And I'm on board with that 1,000%. But all right, one more question, because we are getting to the bottom of the hour. Question: did you see the Coast Guard released a new incident management handbook? Now includes cyber as a UA. I did not see that. Let's look this up together, ladies and gentlemen. But no, I did not see that at all. And I know I'm not sharing my screen. Just bear with me a second. Coast Guard cyber handbook. The term refers to the maritime cybersecurity assessment and annex guide and the navigation of vessel inspection. Let me switch this over. Actually, let me put me small so everybody can see this better. AKA the IMH. Thanks, because you can see I was going down a different rabbit hole. Release an updated incident management handbook. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so I'll post this in chat. Simplified layout and language for quick response to critical information. That's really cool. Flexible guidance on handling any incident, big or small. This is really cool. You need a CCAC to get it. And available to our stakeholders to a public-facing site. Okay, here's a link to the actual doc. Download it now, ladies and gentlemen, before it gets taken down by something. Insert response. This is really cool. Thank you so much for that, Kyle. I will definitely be adding that to my reading list for the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up to the bottom of the hour. You know what that means? We have our next show coming up. I know Kimberly just posted it over here. The Simply Defensive from Hacker to CEO with Danny Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins. But anyway, so follow-up vulnerability management spot maybe include man hours needed to address highs and critical. Does it fluctuate with firewall? Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Like, hey, these need to be patched. This is the likelihood of something bad happening. This is how much time we need to do that. That goes right along with change management. But yeah, I like it. I did post the download link here. So just look up. All right, but thank y'all all for everybody for tuning in. I do greatly appreciate the questions and the conversation. Again, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff coming up for Barricade Cyber. Go check that stuff out. Again, I put all the links into the chat. For those who have stuck around here, I'm going to play Sea Shanty real quick and then the closeout message. Hopefully I'll be here on Friday for Jaw Jacking. Just kind of depends how the week goes. Things are really, really crazy busy right now, trying to keep my head above water. But I appreciate all of y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. Stay curious, my friends.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run.
One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.
I want to give some love to the daily. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.